Oh, the joys of loving your band. Everyone has groups that made a difference in their lives, and it's a term I use way too much on all our channels, which is you hear something and you stare at the speakers and go, what the? And sometimes it's a new sound, sometimes it's an improvement on a sound that you just love. Our special guest is Honeymoon Suite guitarist Derry Grehan, and one of the guys who wrote a lot of their hits talks about the Canadians that changed his life. But first, Honeymoon Suite. Who could forget New Girl Now, released in '84 from the self-titled album, reached number 23 on the Canadian charts. Burnin' in Love, a number 24 hit in Canada. Wave Babies, man, I love that song. Number 26. The album The Big Prize gave us Feel It Again. That reached number 16. From the same record, What Does It Take, 1986. There were hits like Bad Attitude, Love Changes Everything, Looking Out for Number 1, and Lethal Weapon from the movie of the same name. We asked Derry about his favorite Canadians on Rock History Canada. Derry, who are your standout Canadian bands that you would love through the years? Maybe people that you bought before you became famous yourself, but who stands out for you?
Well, I mean, from day one, Rush, of course, from, Fly By Night, when Neil first joined the band, me and my buds, we were Rush freaks. We bought every record and just watched their progression. And of course, who isn't a Rush fan? Come on. And Neil Peart came from the same, little town that I grew up in, which is Port Dalhousie, Ontario, St. Catharines. And he was just a few years ahead of me, playing around in bands there. Anyways, that him, of course, Bryan Adams, a Saga. Well, I used to go see them in clubs. Oh, I mean, this is back in the 70s, and Prague was huge. There's in our area, you'd get all these. There was Max Webster and Saga and all these bands that were. Prague was very big, but Saga were cool because they were just a great band. They were all great players, and I would go see them in little clubs, and I'd sit right in front and just watch the guitar player and steal his licks. The material was cool. There's just live music, man. And not all the bands were that good, but they were good.
When you started the band, you were not one of those 19-year-old kids. You were already a man, but who was that guy? Who were you then? Like emotionally, were you, how did that affect you?
Hell yeah, I was ready. Johnny and I were both ready. I was like 25 years old. I mean, I'd been doing it for a long time since I was a kid. And it's like, man, this has got to happen soon. And fortunately it did. And no, we were a bar band for a couple of years before that, playing cover songs in shitty hotels in Kapuskasing and Elliott Lake all over Northern Ontario, getting our shit together. So we're more than ready. We weren't just inexperienced guys. We played hundreds and hundreds of shows. So I was ready for sure.
I want to hear my band and I want to hear what they sound like today, but I don't want my band not to sound like they did yesterday. They have to have a touch of that. This album hits all the points. I mean, you guys still can rock it. Who says you get old and you mellow out? This is right off the bat, a live video in Niagara Falls. How appropriate going back. And I know you guys are from there. Tell me about that tune.
Yeah, man. Well, we knew that was going to be the next single, and they wanted a video. The label that we're with wanted a video. So it's been ages since we've done videos. So I kind of had to get my head around that and thinking of locations, maybe around Toronto or something. And then Johnny suggested, why don't we go back to Niagara Falls and just try something, as kind of full circle from the Burning in Love video, which we did ages ago. Let's just go down there with a couple of cameras, some handhelds and stuff, and walk around amongst the people, the tourists, and play the song and have people stare at us and do one of those, guerrilla video things. And it was a lot of fun. So it turned out great because it suited the song, and Johnny, me from the Falls, and the music, and it was a nice sunny day. So I think it came out great.
You know, it was you that told me, I don't know why with Burnin' Love you were saying, but you know he was strapped in, right? I don't know why the fans don't think of that stuff. I'm going, oh yeah, of course he was strapped in. He's the talent. You have to protect the talent. But
Hell yeah.
but
You
it's
go
nice
over,
full circle ride. You're right.
yeah, well, you go over that wall, then that's the end of you. You fall into the river at that point. But for the burning video. But it was really cool. It was just a couple cameras, a couple of guys, and us, and we're just let's shoot over there. I have an idea. Why don't I stand on this rock and you shoot from this way? We kind of all self-directed. It was kind of fun to do it that way. I think it came out great.
I like the sequencing on the new album. I like that you have a few rockers, and of course you do, because I mean, I'm a child of the '70s where we always paid attention. That first song, man. Oh yeah, we were always ready for the first song on each side. Bill Simzik of the Eagles told me he had a formula when he produced the Eagles. He says there's a formula. I went, there's a formula. He said, oh yeah, there's a formula. But anyway, find what you're looking for. Soaring rocker. Love the tune. Love the video. Tell me about that.
Find what you're looking for. That video was like kind of, I think that was a COVID video. I think we're all cut to single shots of us. That was a COVID video because that happened right in the middle of making the record.
Yeah.
And we'd already mixed and released Find What You're Looking For as a pre-release to the album. We released a couple of singles. And it was like, hey, guys, can you all just do your thing at home and then send it in and somebody will piece it together. So that's how that video came out. It has that quality to it. Not my favorite way to work, but that's what you had to do during COVID. If you wanted to do a video, it couldn't go anywhere.
Through the years, you must get people coming up to you and saying, hey, Derry, here's my CDR. Back in the old days, here's my cassette. How do you handle people? And if someone, can you be honest with someone if someone says, hey, my Aunt Betsy says I'm really good. Well, how do you handle fans coming up to you and asking for opinions?
Opinions on their music? Well, they don't really come up and they might hand me, those days of handing somebody a cassette or a CD are almost long gone. It's like, can I send you a file now? Can I send you a link to my music? So then I'll go, sure, and I'll check it out later. Or people will send me sometimes on they'll DM me or something and check out my band. I either won't have time to listen to it, or if I do and it's not very good, I'll just not respond. Or if it's somebody that I respect, I'll say, hey, cool, good luck with that. But I'm never a dick about it. There's no reason to be like that. I'll just be graceful about it and say this isn't for me, man, but good luck with it, right?
Done Doing Me, and I related to that song, another great rocker. I mean, there's that thing about, you can have someone with a pretty face, and after a while, that face or that personality or that whatever that brought you in just doesn't work anymore. Tell me about that tune.
Yeah, Done Doing Me. I think Johnny came up with the hook and the chorus. I brought the original musical idea in, and it was a nasty kind of song. See, when I write usually the music first or the riff first. And then the music's going to tell me, is this a happy song? Is this a nice song? Or is this a mean song? Is this a relationship song? So that one had that, bad attitude type vibe to it. So I came up with some lyrics, about, being not with somebody anymore, somebody who was kind of latching on to you and sucking your energy. And then the chorus, Johnny said, you're done doing me now. So it's the three of us, him, Johnny, Mike, and me, just throwing lyrics out and piecing it together. And that's how that happened. We look at the lyric, right? We look at the verse, and it all has to make sense, and it does.
By the way, Ian Anderson, I've interviewed him like I think 8 times, and the first time I interviewed him, I was very afraid to. I was going, "Oh, Ian Anderson, he seems really serious or something, very introverted." Like you said, nicest, understated, very nice guy. Just like what someone.
Yeah, he's an English gentleman and smart guy. And I even had to do that session with him on the Big Prize. He came in and played flute on All Along You Knew, and I was by myself. I had to run that session because Bruce Fairburn wasn't there that day. So here I am behind the console directing Ian Anderson on what flute parts to play. Go fig, go figure.
Not Afraid to Fall. I like that beautiful, gorgeous song. Fighting Adversity. I mean, which a nice segue from what we just talked about. Tell me about that song.
That's a Johnny song. So in the writing process, I would bring my things in, and Johnny would bring his things into the sessions, and then Mike Crumpus, who's also a great writer, would be the sounding board, and we'd bounce things off him, and he would suggest things, and between the three of us, we'd work it out. So John, Not Afraid to Fall was an idea Johnny had for a while. He had the lyric, he kind of had the chorus, and we all liked the idea. So that's a Johnny lyric, and I think it speaks for itself. I think it turned out great. He loves that. That's his baby, and I'm glad it came out the way it did because it's really nice.
Remember, if you want to support the channel, it's been a crazy time for all our channels in the last little while. And that's one of the reasons we ask for support, because YouTube's revenue lately has been insane to a point where we actually thought of quitting. So if you want to support the channel, there's a PayPal link in the description. You can join our Patreon. You'll get early access to our videos. And we have a swag store where you can buy Rock History Canada, Rock History Book, or Rock History Music t-shirts, hats, all kinds of clothing. Subscribe to our channel, share our videos, comment on them, and like them. I'm John Bowden. This is Rock History Canada.